Hi, this is John from Chicago. Welcome to my channel. Today we have another exciting review. This is the Boldclash BWhoop B06. It's a brushless tiny whoop. Reviewers have given this quad quite the praise, saying it's great at indoor as well as outdoor flying. The BWhoop comes with a measurement of 77 millimeters from propeller to propeller, which is 12 millimeters larger than the standard whoop, which has a size of 65 millimeters. The quad has a dry weight of 27 grams, which is also 5 grams heavier than a standard whoop, or about 2.5 grams heavier than a whoop with 7 millimeter brushless or brushed motors. The quad comes with an all-in-one board, which contains on a single board the SP Racing flight control board running BF Beta Flight with a 2 amp with a 3 amp max BL Heli ESCs. The quad gives you an option of coming with 1 battery or 3. Those batteries are 450 milliamp hour, and they have a rating of 80C, and they're 1S batteries, and they weigh 13.5 grams each. They also give you a USB charger, and they give you 2 sets of extra props, plus an extra clear canopy, plus a USB cable, plus a prop remover, and an instruction book that's in English. It also comes in a plastic case that the quad will fit right into, and it makes it easy to take on trips. The motors are very small, 0703 15,000 kV motors that weigh 1.9 grams apiece and are Boldclash branded, although these are the same motors that are made by Racestar. There is a major problem going on right now with the motors. The bells drop off when you hit the ground. This is because there is no C-clip to hold the shaft on. It's only secured by a bushing that is press fit into place. Boldclash is aware of this situation and is trying to get a fix into place, and they claim they're going to have one by January 15th. A link to In for Bliss video that shows this in more detail and how he solved it by adding different motors. Clip shows me losing a motor. I only dropped about 10 inches. Whoa. I'm taking the BWhoop outside to give it a range test. I will go down the sidewalk here to the end of the block to the street, and that's 100 meters. They say the range is 100 meters on this. I know a few of the early reviewers said they thought they were having a little bit of range problems because the antenna is horizontal instead of vertical, but as you can see, the street's up here, and this is 100 yards, and it's just breaking up a little bit, or it's 100 meters. So I turn around and come back. The quad seems to be doing quite well outside. I'm really surprised. I'm able to fight a headwind going to the street. Now I have a little bit of a tailwind, and it just handles great outside. I've never had a tiny whoop that runs this good outside, so this is a joy to fly. I'm thinking about maybe getting this or maybe another one. So my grandkids, I got 3 grandkids that are 7 to 10, and that might be a good quad for them to learn how to fly FPV. It's breaking up a little bit here, but that's because the garage door, the metal garage door, was between me and the end of the yard here. So with the garage door, the signal does break up, but I've had good signal in the house. I've been able to go to the 2nd floor and to the basement while being on the 1st floor, and I get great signal. The camera is also pretty good. This is a dark day out, and the photo is quite good. The unit comes with a the canopy has a camera built in. It has a 25 milliwatt VTX. The camera is an 800 lines per inch, and it has 120 degree field of view. The camera itself weighs 3.6 grams, and with the canopy attached, it's 5.7 grams. So the unit's fairly light, and it's really rugged, and it holds up good. I really like the way they did the antenna. They seem to get the range. It's not a problem, and that's one of the areas on a lot of your tiny whoops and smaller quads that they have problems with, are the antennas breaking, where this is really rugged and should hold up quite a while. To use up the battery, I'm just flying around the playground on the sidewalks and things. I did another flight right after this where I went around the whole track. It's a quarter mile. It took me 15-minute laps, so I was going 15 miles an hour. So the thing moves pretty good. It's not the 40 mile an hour that some of the small 2-inch quads will do, but at 15 it's respectable, and it's something a beginner would have fun with outdoors also. So it's a great outdoor quad as well as an indoor quad. But if you're buying this, you're really buying it for indoors, and I'll do a line of flight indoors. I think before I do that, this battery lasted just short of 4 minutes. I'm indoor doing some line of sight flying. The thing flies like a dream, really good, just what you'd want to see in your quad. Sometimes it does drop a couple inches when you make a hard yaw turn, but that's to be expected with a tiny whoop. It's a little on the noisy side, but not much more noise than my brushless whoops. Dry weight at 27 grams is about 5 or 6 grams heavier than my 6mm motor tiny whoops, and it's about 2.5 grams lighter than my, or heavier than my 7mm motor tiny whoops. As far as that extra weight, you really don't notice it indoors. If it hits something, it's similar to what those other whoops were, especially the 7mm. It does have a lot more power than the 6mm, and just a little bit more power than the 7mm brushless motors. Here I'm doing a funnel. It's able to funnel back up. Plenty of power, and it goes. I'm starting my Fpv Indoor Run. I got about just under 4 minutes on this battery also. A few of the batteries I got a little bit over 4 minutes, but not by much. So I think you'd want to set your timer for 3.5 minutes or a little less when flying this. It doesn't have a low voltage indicator. Here I'm just running around the living room. I set up a few hoops to go through. I'm making most of them. This is my first run. It wasn't that great. I had a fantastic second run. I made most of the hoops. Plus, I think I only crashed once, and I went upstairs and then came downstairs and even did the basement. But I forgot to turn the video recorder on the goggles. But this gives you an idea what it flies like. When it hits things in the house, it's not too bad. I got a lot of knickknacks and things like that, and that's what I was really afraid of, that this quad whoop would be a little heavy for indoor use in our house. But it seemed to handle things pretty good. I didn't break anything in the several flights that I had before my motors broke. Here I'm going upstairs. This is my first attempt at going upstairs. I didn't quite make it. I hit the railing and it flipped over, so I started over again. It's fun to fly indoors. The video clarity is really good, and it's quite responsive. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. I'm going pretty slow here, and I still missed. But it's quite precise, and for the most part, you can make most of your gates. For pros, this is a good inside and outside flyer for a tiny whoop. The quad is very light for a brushless quad. It has a dry weight of 27 grams and an all-up weight of 40 grams. It's also very durable, and the camera has good range and clarity. So those are the pros. The cons has motor problems. Hopefully they say they'll fix by December 5th or January 15th of this year. And also the cost. This unit, the cost is $110 versus $60 to $80 on a brushless model. To get the motor problem fixed of the motors flying apart, I would definitely recommend this. I've left a link in the description below. Thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you.